I'm Yuri.
I'm Jacob.
And we're going for a drive. ...2019 Lexus NX300.
F Sport.
So F Sport means not fast.
Correct.
NX is smaller than the RX SUVs.
And bigger than the UX SUVs.
Crossover season.
Crossover season.
Horsepower and torque.
235 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque from a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo.
So let's see if it's fast. Definitely not bad.
Yeah, it's definitely not bad for this class. It's the right amount of power.
And before we get on with the rest of the review, don't forget to subscribe and definitely hit the notification bell so you get a notification right at 8 o'clock when our videos go live on Tuesday and Fridays.
8 a.m. Eastern time.
That's the most important part, is the bell.
Exactly.
We don't spam you. It's fine.
It's all good.
Safe.
It's just videos.
Okay, now let's get back to the car. The best feature, the most requested feature, the thing everybody wants in every single car.
What's that, Yuri?
A track touchpad.
Really?
To control your infotainment.
That's the most requested feature.
Well, I don't know, why are people putting it in cars?
I have a feeling that some sort of board meeting decided this.
Long time ago, and now everybody's hopping on this stupid trend.
Yeah, well, not everybody, thankfully, but...
Okay, we've got Lexus has a trackpad, the RDX, all of Acura's gonna have it. Mercedes is switching over from there, they're getting rid of the scroll wheel. I'm pretty sure Mitsubishi has this exact infotainment in theirs with a trackpad as well.
Yeah.
Like, yo, BMW, hold it down for the rest of us.
Definitely holding it down.
So how does this trackpad work?
Okay, so we swipe left and right, and then we try not to crash. But now there is haptic feedback from the little touchpad, and you can customize how much feedback you get. But it still doesn't tell you what menu option you're on. You still have to take your eyes off the road and look at it all the time.
See, that's the good thing about one of those scroll wheels like BMW and Mercedes and Mazda.
You know you're going right, you know you're going left.
You spin and you'll get somewhere you need to be eventually.
Yeah, and this thing, even when you're on a map, it becomes a mouse. You're like, you have a little touch pointer thing on a map. Like, that's psychotic in a car.
Soon we're gonna have just a mouse pad and an old school like mouse.
I kind of hope so.
And because it's a trackpad, the screen is not a touchscreen, which I'm all right with.
Yeah, well, I mean,
the screen's too far away to make it a touchscreen.
Exactly. It's kind of like a thing they had to do because they put the screen so far.
And then this trackpad is also different from the Acura trackpad. The Acura trackpad, if you're in the top right of the trackpad, you're on the top right of the screen. This, I move around like a regular old computer mouse. Exactly,
so it's a little bit easier to get used to, but I feel like the Acura over time will probably be better.
And less distracting.
Exactly.
But still awful.
But at first, it's very distracting.
Yeah. So this infotainment's all right. This one doesn't have Apple CarPlay, so it's completely useless.
That was a $100 option that whoever spec'd this car did not get.
Disappointed.
But there's no Android Auto, which is an absolute disaster of a decision on Toyota's part. No Android Auto, come on.
This does have 20 rewinding satellite radio stations, and it's not the worst to use it.
It's actually pretty easy, I'll admit that.
Yeah, you just go to your radio replay, change your presets on your steering wheel, and then you can just click down to rewind. But it's still like, we're in the CX-5 Mazda right now, and those guys got everything right in the infotainment.
Well, we're not in it right now.
Yeah, but like this week.
Yeah.
Like compared to that, like this is like the most useless thing ever.
Yeah, this is very, very difficult to use.
It's like a computer simulator of a car infotainment that's brand new. Now to some more redeeming features, this car looks frigging amazing.
I do love how it looks. A lot of people do not like the Lexus grills. I actually love them, and so do you.
Okay, I was referring to the body lines to start with.
Okay.
But let's talk about the grill first. Top to bottom, huge, love it. And if you want to put a smoked license plate cover on your license plate, it'll pretty much blend right in.
Yeah, which is probably illegal, but it does help. And with the F Sport, that is part of an appearance package. So you get this predatory front grille. The regular one is slightly less predatory. It's got like straight lines across.
Yeah, this one looks really good. But then we got like some fake vents on the side kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like from far away, it looks good, and this isn't like a sporty car, so
exactly.
it's fine.
And the headlights look really good, the little check marks.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And then we got like foglets at the bottom too and everything.
Yeah, they're tiny, but they are slightly effective.
Back to the body lines. They are so good. In like all the lighting conditions, you have so much popping of everything, and you can always see like all the body lines in it.
Razor sharp.
So this is a gray car, which I usually don't like, but for whatever reason, the kind of metallicness they used works perfectly for it.
Yeah, it does look pretty nice.
Taillights.
Taillights are awesome. I like how they jut out, and again, it's got the reverse checkmark thing.
I think it looks really good. I did really like the way the RC350 F Sport looked, so, you know, obviously I like the way this looks.
Yeah, the back end's like razor sharp. Every angle on this car is just razor sharp. It looks really nice.
But it looks kind of small. It doesn't look like a huge SUV.
No, it looks tiny, and it is tiny. I am honestly cramped inside, but we'll get to the interior stuff in a bit, but I am so cramped in here.
Will we get to the box test now?
Yeah, might as well. 9. Go to patreon.com/TheStraightPipes or join our YouTube membership to buy yourself a box. It's a really slow trunk.
Then I guess we got our small cup of coffee. Fits just on the edge.
That, I would call that borderline fail, man.
Okay, we'll give it a fail.
That's a fail. And the visor test.
3, 2, 1.
It's got extensions. That doesn't count. That is a fail, everybody.
Hard fail. More outside stuff. Wheels.
Wheels look pretty good. They're not my favorite, but they work for the car.
I feel like you say that about a lot of cars.
Yeah, I mean, some of them just work for the car. They're just like not good looking wheels, but they work on that type of car. If you took them on another car, they wouldn't work as well.
How about the exhaust tips?
Exhaust tips are pretty good, but they are 2019 real, so I'll give them credit for that, which is a metal exhaust tip with an actual pipe behind it, separate from the metal exhaust tip.
The only part I don't like is at a certain angle, I can feel like I can see right to the front of the car through the gap there.
Yeah, the gap's pretty big.
Like the front of the car, like out the front grill almost.
They could have like widened out the actual tip a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe like put a piece of black, like the Genesis G70, remember had that black thing behind it just so you couldn't see through?
Yeah, that was a good way to solve that.
No wonder it's the everyone's car of the year this year.
Yeah, apparently.
Not ours, we haven't announced it.
No, we're gonna wait till 2020 to announce our 2018 car of the year.
It's the G-Wagon.
No, it's the E63S.
Oh yeah, I forgot. So now let's move on to interior before you drive.
Okay, I'm so cramped in here.
It is a little bit tight.
It's so tight. I've never been this tight in any other car that I've driven in this class.
But all the materials are super nice. Like everything looks amazing and feels great.
The build quality on this is fantastic. I have no issues with that. Everything is very high quality. Everything looks really nice, but it's just so cramped in here. For that reason alone, I would not be able to purchase this car.
Okay, my favorite material, this thing right here on the side, I don't know what it is, but I really like it.
Silver pattern embossed.
And then I really like this silvery pattern right here on the side too. It looks very nice.
It's good because it's satin and it's not chrome, so it doesn't look cheap.
And then we've got like soft padding next to our knees, which is pretty good.
Exactly. We got stitching everywhere, and then we have a clock on the dash, so you know it's a luxury car.
Yeah, and we got hard buttons for all our climate, which is amazing, so you don't have to use the stupid mouse pad
Yeah, exactly.
to get that going.
Which you can, by the way, but definitely don't just use the hard buttons on here. And speaking of this hard button area, the way that it's shaped is very odd. It kind of comes down, then comes out, and then goes back in. It's very weird.
But it looks really cool. It was done very well.
Sure it does. And then we have this weird compartment down here that isn't big enough to store anything except maybe like 2 pens.
That's got to be pens.
Yeah, that's it.
And then we've got a volume knob, a tuning knob, and the volume knob and tuning knob feel amazing.
Yeah, they're knurled. They look awesome.
And then back here on the side, near the glove box, there's these 2 exposed screws.
Okay, that is the worst part of this entire interior to me.
But they say Lexus on it, so like kind of redeeming, but like
No, exposed screws in anything but like a Jeep Wrangler or a G-Wagon, that's just a no.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And then my favorite feature of any interior ever, I don't know why it's here, we have this removable mirror. I don't understand why this exists. I don't know if you're like a baking soda enthusiast or something like that, but like...
I need to check my teeth, it's pretty good.
Yeah, maybe you need to smell your baking soda before you get home. Like, I don't get it.
Pop some zits.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyways, it has a removable mirror and then a storage compartment below to store your baking soda when you're not using it. I don't know.
How about the seats?
The seats are so comfortable, like really comfortable.
They're comfy, but I don't like the lumbar support. It's only one way, forward and back, and it's so small.
I haven't had any issues with it.
I want like a wider thing that really pushes more out.
And they're extremely well bolstered, like almost too well bolstered for this type of car.
The steering wheel, I think, is like wicked. Just like the RC350F, it looks so luxury and quality.
Yeah, it does. It feels really good. The leather in here is fantastic.
And then we also have some hard buttons on the side, which is fantastic. Heated steering wheel, heated seats, cooled seats.
The fact that they put hard buttons for everything is just thank you.
It's good.
Yes.
Except for the touchpad mouse thing.
Exactly.
So let's do a little back seat test to see how much room Jacob has behind himself. And now it's his turn to drive.
Now let's see what it's actually like to drive. Again, like you said, engine is completely adequate. I really like it. Now, the power delivery is very linear, doesn't really feel that turbo, and it downshifts pretty quickly when you floor it.
Hey, you know what else it does?
What's that?
Respond to paddle input.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah, okay. So, it responds to downshifts pretty well. Now, what I noticed is when I'm flooring it, and I'm flooring it in second, I try to upshift into third, it'll just take me all the way to redline, and it won't actually upshift until it just gets to redline.
Show me right now.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna downshift into second, and I'm gonna floor it, and watch this. Third, I'm still going, it's still going, just absolutely useless.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, absolutely useless.
Hey, what on Sport Plus? Same thing?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so in Sport Plus it shifted, which is very weird. It
Yeah,
hesitated,
okay.
but it did shift a little bit faster. The downshifts are fine though, so there you go. Now the paddles are awesome to use. They feel very high quality, even though they're not metal. Whatever material that they use, it feels great. The transmission is a 6-speed auto. It is not a CVT. Thank you. Now, it handles okay, definitely not the best. The Mazda CX-5 that we also have this week handles way better than this.
But this is all-wheel drive.
Yes, it is. And the suspension is very well damped. It's very comfortable. It is a joy to drive on your regular commute.
Well, it doesn't have lane keep assist, really. It's got lane departure.
Yeah, exactly. So it just kind of pulls you back in very poorly.
And it's a luxury car.
Yes.
And Kias will have great lane keep assist.
Exactly.
And they are not as luxury cars.
Yeah, so this does have adaptive cruise, which is normal because every manufacturer gets that right. But yeah, the lane keep assist is just not very good.
Lane departure.
Lane departure, whatever. Now back to that handling though, the Acura RDX, which is in this class, handles way better than this thing, like way better.
Yeah, that thing was like black magic though.
Exactly. This feels very front wheel drive, very understeery, like it just doesn't handle that well compared to the RDX. The suspension does give you a really good sense of build quality. Like overall, this thing feels really solid going over bumps. You know how some cars just kind of feel kind of dainty almost? Like when you hit a thump, yeah, this is like a really good thump, like a really good door close.
Speaking of another good luxury thing this has, is a really good reverse and 360 camera.
It does actually. The resolution's good.
But when you park, sometimes it'll go into this cool 360 mode, and sometimes it won't. Sometimes it'll show you this like front mode. It does a lot of weird stuff on auto, and it's hard to get from screen to screen.
And is that 360 mode thing very useful?
No, cool gimmick, I guess.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's like
you can change the color of your car.
and trying to control it through this trackpad is like insane.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Stop doing it, trackpads.
Yeah. And let's talk about the drive modes. So we do have Eco, Normal, Custom, Sport, and Sport Plus. Sport Plus is probably the best mode in this just to get the most response out of it. It doesn't change the suspension or anything like that. It's just really your throttle response and a little bit of your steering.
And the paddles.
Yeah, the paddles.
I just kept it normal, maybe eco. And even if you're normal, if you're driving well, it shows eco on the gauge anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to talk about the gauges?
I would love to. I really like the way the analog gauges look. They're very clear. They look nice with the white, but the center gauge is not my favorite.
Yeah, the center screen is digital, but it's lower res than our infotainment screen, and like it just looks softer and fuzzier.
Exactly. But I do appreciate that there's a boost gauge. What I don't appreciate is that there's a G-force gauge. Like, what do I need a G-force meter gauge in this car?
What I noticed is that it does have a screen that you can have just your speed, which is very nice, but anytime you get a notification, it'll push that over your speedo.
Yeah, so if it detects that you went outside of the lane, it'll just put that right over your center screen.
Yeah, or if you go below 50 and it's like, oh, lane keep doesn't work anymore, it's like, okay, I just want to know my speed.
Yeah, that's fair.
And if you don't like the gauges, you still have a head-up display, which is very nice.
Yeah, again, we can see our G-force gauge. I feel like any car that has a G-force gauge should have a Nürburgring lap time associated with it. Like, there's no reason for that. I'm just gonna keep going off on that because don't give me a G-force gauge in a car that doesn't deserve it.
I mean, like a BRZ is not going to set a Nürburgring lap time, but that kind of might deserve one.
You got me there.
All right.
Any crossover.
Okay, but back to the head-up display. We've got physical controls on the right, so we can actually change stuff without going through a menu through this stupid touchpad.
Amazing.
Oh, you want to know another thing I friggin' hate?
What's that?
So when you're cruising on the highway, you've got navigation in this car, which you should never use because it's garbage. I tried to find Toyota Canada. I could not even find that through this navigation. Navigate to Toyota Canada Inc., Markham, Ontario, Canada. And this came from Toyota Canada.
Select the one you want.
But when you're on the highway, on the right in your map section, it'll show you a list of off-ramps you can exit. Like, who thought that was a good idea to put that into a car? Who thought anyone would ever use that? And like, it's just so cluttery and stupid.
Yep.
Like,
I'm not going to disagree with you.
like what? It's like, why don't you just put ice cream shops? Like, that's more useful than off ramps. Like, I know what off ramp I need to get off at.
Yeah, or gas stations or
I've
something.
got my Google Maps on my iPhone sitting in my cup holder.
Yeah, exactly.
I want you to try something.
What's that?
With the speedo there, set your cruise control.
Set.
Okay, now wait a second. What speed is your cruise control set to?
I have no idea.
Exactly. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that's a little weird.
I mean, it'll probably show in your head-up display, and if you get like through another speed, it'll pop up there as another notification. But like, it's just like weird stuff like that.
Yeah, that is a little odd. Yeah, like legit.
You have to go to the right here, and then into your drive assist settings, and then it'll show you.
That's really bad.
Cars are weird, eh?
This one's weird. Not all cars are this weird.
Okay, so let's get to the competition, price,
Why are you clapping?
and then outro.
Why are you clapping?
It's a thing people do on the internet.
Okay.
When they review stuff.
Acura RDX is the one that I would take over this, 100%.
Yeah, I think I'd have to take the RDX as well. Like, the super handling was better. I think the way the touchpad worked was better in the RDX as well.
Long term, not right away though.
Long term, yeah. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto.
Yeah, it was supposed to get Android Auto. Hopefully they followed through on that.
But I think the styling is equally good on both ends.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
If you're a little bit more into the Acura look, if you're a little more into the Lexus look, your side definitely wins.
I'm just so cramped in here. I have no issues other than being cramped in this infotainment system. That's it. So if you can live with that, this is still a good choice.
You just got to be ready to look yourself in the mirror every day and be happy with your vehicle purchase decision.
Oh, and by the way, this does have a wireless charger right there in here.
So let's get to the price.
$44,000 to start.
Canadian.
This one is optioned to $57,200 with the F Sport 3 package.
I don't feel like that's bad for a Lexus.
It's not that bad.
It's a lot of quality for a pretty good price considering the price of everything else, like the other luxury brands.
Exactly. If there's anything that stands out about this whole car is the build quality. Everything feels really nice.
So don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to 1 million subs by 2020. Hit the notification bell so you get the notification at 8 a.m. when our new videos drop.
On Tuesdays and Fridays. And then check out our patreon.com/TheStraightPipes and our YouTube membership so you can get early access to videos and cool stuff like putting your name on a box.
Yes, our YouTube membership now has some of the same stuff that our Patreon has.
Exactly.
It's getting confusing, and then we also have some Teespring shirts below that should show up.
Yeah, we got new shirts. We got a bunch of new designs, cliche corner, visor test, and the old logo.
See you later. I'm Yuri.
I'm Jacob.
And we're going for a drive. This is a subscription break. Don't forget to subscribe.
Subscribe right now. Subscribe. We didn't do that.